Greetings, Fu here with part 5 of the Build Your Republic Commando thread. We're going to go ahead and do that second half of the forearm that we started earlier, show you a couple of things that are going to need to happen to make this effective, and then we'll move on to other parts from there. Let's go ahead and get the camera in place. Bear with me. Good engineering. Okay. Now with the ABS that comes with the TZA kit, it's a thicker ABS, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and scored the inside edge about half the thickness of the ABS shim. I used just a simple drywall saw. I know I didn't put it on the tool list, sorry. But just lightly, start slowly sawing, get yourself a good groove in there, kind of V it out. This will give a little bit of flexibility to it. You don't want to go past the halfway part because you don't want it to snap. Do that on both halves. That's going to give it the shape that it's going to need to bend to the other piece. Just make sure that everything is going to fit okay on both sides. If you didn't put your shims on the double curve side, you're going to end up with a piece that you'll probably need to notch out to meet up with the curve side. You'll see the curves on the inside there, so you may need to notch it out. So hopefully when you did step 4, you put them on the curve side to begin with, but either way, just a little bit extra cut work. We're going to use more DevCon than we used the last time because we're coming onto a surface where we can't get our clamps in the same way. I like to use a piece of wood that's almost the same width as my shim. Now you see there's going to be a gap there, but as we clamp it, the wood helps to give it an even surface to press out as it gets pushed down on the top. That's why I like to use this. Sometimes when you use just the clamps, you can't get as much surface area touching, and we want the glue to bond as much as possible. So we're going to go ahead and mix up some glue here and start the process. Again, make sure you are in a well ventilated area for this stuff. Brain melting, bad side effect. Hobby turned fatal, always makes the paper. Get a good snotty looking mix, and then I apply it to the shims, not the inside of the arm piece. The reason I do this, I want it to go all the way to the edge because I want the ABS, or excuse me, I want the DevCon to actually come up through the seam when I put pressure on it, so that it gives me a nice sandable surface. It's a lot stronger than Bondo, and it when it hardens, it is its own plastic, so it's actually saves a step in the process for filling the gap if you've just got some extra DevCon coming up out of it. So use enough that it's going to fill it completely and squeeze out of the seam. There we go, nice solid coat, and the room is already spinning. Woo! Did I mention you need to be in a well ventilated area? Alright, we're only going to do the one side here. Squeeze her down, get it generally lined up. Go ahead and just do one half. Get your wood in behind there. You will get messy doing this. Take one of your larger clamps, get in as hard or as far as you can, add an angle because you've still got to get another clamp in behind. If you go straight on, you won't be able to get a second clamp in there. Same thing with the second one. Make sure you haven't overlapped. You've still got plenty of work time, so scoot things around so that you've got a good clamp on both surfaces, and then put a medium-sized one in behind it. Give that extra little love it needs. Again, this is where these clamps are nice because the glue will squeeze all over the place, but it's not going to stick to these clamps. Okay, once we've got a decent meet up there, what some people like to do just to ensure that you don't get any left or right slip, Use a little packing tape, duct tape, whatever you're comfortable with. Make sure your seam meets up. Give it a little left to right tension there. And we should be good. Flip it over. We're not going to glue this side yet. We're just going to put a clamp halfway each direction to hold it in the general shape that we're going for, so that as that side cures, it's got a good shape to follow. So again, one in from each side. Line it up as best you can. Again, go ahead and run some tape. Just give it that tension left to right. Make sure you can get it off. Double check, make sure nothing slipped too far out of place. You're going to have a gap. It's not going to fit perfectly. That's why we use the extra glue to help fill that gap. And you're going to be doing Bondo work. And remember, there's a resin piece that's going to go on the top of that forearm. Whichever side ends up being the top depends on whether this is right or the left. So don't worry about this gap. We will fix it later. So you're looking at large to medium, large to medium, large, large. And I usually set it with a double side down, let it dry, and that's going to be that half. When you come back to do the second half, it's going to be a little bit of wiggle work just to get the glue into this seam here, but it's going to be the same process. You're going to go on the shim, lift your top piece up and over, again squeeze it, get that bubble up, tape it, reverse your clamping, a large, medium, and then if you want to, you can throw one on the other side. You don't have to use the wood piece on the inside. Some guys like to do straight clamps. The plastic's going to conform to whatever's working best on your kit, depending on the thickness of the plastic. Next step I will go ahead and show the biceps in step 6, but for step 5, that is where we are. I'm Forearm. Have a great night.